In this demo, we're just going to run through a couple of options for capturing proof of delivery information and also in adding additional items when you're dropping off product at a customer location. So the application will run on, generally a PDA style device or a phone, that type of thing, that, ideally has the ability to scan barcodes. So either through an external barcode scanner like a Bluetooth scanner or a built-in camera or scanning device. We generally like the ruggedized devices, but, the choice of devices is largely up to you. Now, the way it works is, these guys will be generally live all the time. So as long as you have a 3G connection, you're live. The advantage of that is we have access to the back-end system, the inventory levels, pricing, all those sorts of things. If you wanted it local and come back in and sync up everything that's done, we can do that as well. Generally, we like to be live. So the way it works is a driver would have the shipments that he needs to deliver, and he'll go into his dispatch list. So incidentally, this is an emulator here that's running on this thing. And so I'll click on these various items to make them work. But generally, this is a touchscreen device, like a phone, and you're going to tap on it, and it's going to do its thing. So I'm going to go into the dispatch list. And for this particular driver, these are all the pickups and drop-offs he has. So if you do need to do, pickups for returns and things like that, those are available in here. And it gives you the basic address information, contact information, all of those sorts of things. And, you can use this to identify the route you're going to take. So you can sort it by address, those sorts of things. There's also options for pre-sorting this based on the most direct route to all the different locations, and that's using a Google mapping service that does that. Now, once you've got this dispatch list here, there's a few things the driver can do. So you can click on this. You can view the details of this, which will give him more details about the address, like a map and comments and things like that. Or if he already knows, this is a standard route, he's going to end up at this location. He can just open that delivery right up just by tapping the screen. And what happens is it opens it up, and it tells him, what the order is and everything else, and all the details of that order. Now, in this case, it's completely blank. So somebody's called up and said, hey, we need a restock. Maybe he's not sure what needs to go there, but he's got enough in the truck to restock what they need. So in that case, it starts out blank, and all he has to do is scan the items to add them to this particular order. So to give you another example of that, we'll go into, that was a pickup incidentally, where he may be picking up, leftover stock and dropping additional things off. If I go into this particular one, we'll see that it's a delivery, so he's got some things to deliver. And what he can do on top of this is either just come in and specify a quantity that he needs to drop off. So far, the default is being 1. He can come in there and either scan the item, scan the package right there, and specify the quantity that he's going to deliver. Or he could potentially even scan a brand new item in there. So for example, he'll scan an item, and it'll pop up and ask him for the quantity. He'll specify the quantity he's going to drop off, and that adds it to the order automatically. So, and here's your quantity to deliver of 2. On this first line, you can see that he's got, a total quantity requested of 3, but he's only leaving 1 behind. So he's not going to deliver the 4 that they originally requested. He's going to drop 1 of these guys off and 2 of these guys off, and that's it. So once he's got that set up, the customer can review all the details about what's being dropped off and everything else. And then he can just tap the screen and go into sign. And from this point, he points the screen at the customer. They sign their little signature there. Hard to do with the mouse, but they sign their signature. You can provide any additional notes that the customer wants to add. And at that point, it's effectively done. We capture that signature, we bring it back to the ERP system. If we're live at this point, we could actually hit print, and we could email them a receipt. We could print a receipt on a Bluetooth printer that we have, just like the car rental places. All of those sorts of things are entirely possible. There's a few other options in here that we won't really get into, like multiple packages and things like that. But that's the general capability. We're able to go out, see the dispatch list, drop product off, add additional product to the delivery, capture the signature, and if we want, we can actually complete that transaction and provide an invoice right at that moment if we really wanted to do it. And effectively, that's what the drivers are going to do. They're going to go into the dispatch list, pick the items that they're dealing with, and go in and drop off the product. And each drop off, capture the signature, and we're done. There's a few other options like possibly if you wanted to get the route information I mentioned earlier, where we use a Google mapping service to calculate the most effective route. That's available as well. And synchronization if we need to do any offline processing. So that's the proof of delivery. Now the nice thing about this is it's part of the WMDM, which is Warehouse Mobile Data Module, that works in conjunction with NAV. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to switch screens real quick and show you the same module that's being configured for warehouse operation. So here we are with the same module, WMDM, but now it's running on a different device and it's configured entirely for warehouse management. And on the warehouse management side, we can do things like receive product, ship product out if it's not going with the driver on the route, take inventory, all of those sorts of things, count inventory. Anything that you would need to do to manage your warehouse is now available within the same software, just configured differently to work with the warehouse instead of with the driver. So in this case, we can go in, we can scan items, or in this case, I'm just going to manually type in an item. We can scan an item, and we can do lookups and things like that to figure out what we've got. I could scan additional items here without having to enter them, and it'll bring up that same information. So the system's quite smart. You just scan a barcode, it brings in exactly what you were looking at, and there's no need to manually select what you're scanning or anything like that. The nice thing about this tool is we can even do things like capture pictures for the items. So if you're scanning an item, it'll verify that that's actually the item you're picking based on a visual verification of that. So I won't get into this in too much detail, but that gives you the basics, the proof of delivery side of things, along with the warehouse management side of things within the WMDM software.